If you're making a movie or a skit, you need a script, the full story. In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of how to write a script. Let's get into it. What's up, everybody? My name is Nate Killian and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, on this channel, I make short films, comedy skits, and filmmaking tutorials, and my goal is to help you take your first steps as a filmmaker, or if you're already a filmmaker, to help you keep taking steps. That's it. That's the goal. So before we get into this video, I just want to say I am not a professional screenwriter. I have been mentored by professional screenwriters. I have taken screenwriting courses. I do understand basic script formatting. And that's the goal today. My goal is to show you basic script formatting to write scripts, not necessarily to write good scripts, but just to be able to write scripts so that you can get on the path of writing good scripts. I have said the word script so many times. Something to think about before you write your script. Who is directing? Are you directing, or is someone else going to read the script and direct the film? This will dictate certain elements that we're going to talk about in the video, and I'm going to actually talk more about this as we go on, but it's just something to start with before you even open up a screenwriting software. Speaking of software, you're going to need a software. The screenwriting software that I use is Celtics. It's a free software that you can use. There's also Writer Duet. That is a free writing software that you can use. I'm going to put links to both of those in the description below. You can pay for both of these. They just have different features if you pay for them. They do have free versions that allow you to write scripts on them though. So if you're not looking to spend any money, you can still use these softwares. I also highly and strongly recommend that you use a screenwriting software because they do all the script formatting for you. All right, let's jump into the script. So I have written a scene here that I'm going to go along with you as I write this out, and we're going to talk about each piece and element of the script, and you're going to see it all put together in the end. Now, on the very first page of your script in the top left, you will write fade in. This marks the beginning of the story. Now, writing fade in actually isn't 100% necessary. It's mainly just used out of tradition, but this can give a visual to the reader. Number 2, scene heading. The scene heading is a one-line description of the location and the time of the scene. You'll start by writing the interior or the exterior, then the location, and then the time of the day. It would look something like this. You can abbreviate interior with INT and abbreviate exterior with EXT, and this gives the reader the visual of where they can expect the scene to take place. Next line down, number 3, the action line. Now, the action line is a narrative description of what is happening in the scene. Now, the key here is to only write what the audience can see and hear, not thoughts. So not like what the characters are thinking or anything like that. This is where you're describing the scene. You're writing what the audience is going to see, what they're going to hear, give the visual to the reader. If there's anything very specific in this scene that you want to call out, this is where you'll write it. All right, so now that we have our action line, let's introduce a character. So whenever you introduce a character for the first time, you will write their name in all caps, followed by a short description or any necessary descriptors of the character for the audience. And it would look something like this. If Nate is the character, I would talk about his beard, his age, so that whoever's reading can kind of start to put a face to the name. Now that we have our action, we have our character, let's have this character speak. Number 5, character name and dialogue. So whenever you're writing dialogue, the character's name will be centered and in all caps, and the dialogue will follow immediately underneath it like this. So I'm gonna have Nate say something like, here is how to write a script. So he's kind of reading what he's typing out loud. Now, the next element of writing a script is a little bit of an extension of dialogue. Number 6, parentheticals. A parenthetical is basically something that goes just above the dialogue, but directly underneath your character's name, and it'll sit in between 2 parentheses. There are 2 main ways to use a parenthetical. The first way is what's called an extension. An extension indicates how the character's voice will be heard on screen. So for example, in my script here, let's say that a character yells in from the other room, but we don't see them on screen. We just hear their voice off screen. So in my parentheses, I would write O.S to indicate to the reader that the voice is off screen. You can also use V.O if it's a voiceover, or like a narrator. The second way to use a parenthetical is to describe the action or the attitude of a character. So for example, this character that I have here, Nate, is going to respond to the voice off camera as irritated. So this gives the reader a picture of what they can hear. A picture of what they can hear. Do I even hear myself? So I'll write Nate, I'll write irritated, and then I write the response. Now, I do want to say, just use this with caution. You don't always want to do this because if you are not the one directing this film, the director may want the actor to do something different, want the character to do something different. So really only do it if it's absolutely necessary. And lastly, number 7, transitions. So at the end of the scene on the bottom right, you'll write something along the lines of cut to or fade to black. This just, again, lets the reader know that the scene is over. Now, we just wrote this whole scene together. Let's see the scene put together side by side with the script. See what it looks like. Here is how to write a script.
Nate, can you come here, please?
Yeah, hold on. So guys, those are the basic elements to writing a script, but here are a few tips to know when you are writing your script. The first thing is that one page of your script is about the equivalent to 1 minute on screen. So if you're watching a movie that is 90 minutes long, you can kind of assume that the script is around 90 pages long. So say you're making a 5-minute short film, your script will probably be around 5 pages. The second thing just to be aware of is how you use editing transitions and camera angles in your script. So this directly comes back to what I mentioned earlier about being aware of who is directing whatever you're writing. So you should really only write in editing transitions and camera angles if they are 100% necessary to telling the story, or if you are the one directing. Reason being is because if you are the one directing, this can be helpful to you as you read the script and helps you generate ideas for when you're filming. Otherwise, the person who wrote this script really doesn't have that level of creative control when it comes to making the film. The director has all the say and all the direction and what camera angles are being used and how it's edited. So like I said, it's really only appropriate to use these in your script if you're the one directing or it's 100% necessary for the story. So overall, those are all the basic elements of how to write a script. But if you want to write a good script, I have a couple of resources and encouragements to give you before you go. The first resource is a book that I actually read when I took screenwriting courses in college. It's called Save the Cat. There's actually a pretty big joke in the screenwriting community that this is like the book everyone uses. But it's a really deep dive. It gets in really deep depth on how to write a good script. So my second recommendation to you if you want to write good scripts is to read good scripts. Think of the movies that you love or movies that you know are renowned, they've been successful. Look them up online. You can find a lot of scripts online and just read them for free. Take what you learn and apply it to your own writing. So guys, that's it for the video today. I hope you found it helpful. If you did find it helpful and you liked this video, give it a like, because believe it or not, it actually helps me and the channel a ton when you do that. And if you haven't already, would love for you to consider subscribing to the channel, because that would be pretty dope. So thank you for watching. Keep telling stories, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, this is the end of the video. This is that last 20 seconds. Hey, you're still here. Mad respect. One day, there's going to be Easter eggs in these parts of the video. There's going to be little hidden secrets. Maybe there's one here right now. Maybe there's a hidden secret happening right now, and you just don't realize it. click one of these videos or subscribe.